Good afternoon. Welcome to MCC Summer Camp 2018. My name is Daniel, and our guest is...
Battalion Chief Gary Roundsarber, Muscatine Fire Department.
Hello, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, glad to be here.
So, when you're getting into the fire department field, is it scary?
Oh, it's not really scary. It's a lot of fun. It depends on what you consider scary. It can be you can be a little nervous, a little hesitant, but everybody should be if you want to be safe. We're actually just finishing up today training 4 new recruits. They're ending an 80-hour academy.
So, how long have you been at the department?
13 years.
Did you always have the same job?
No, I started as a firefighter paramedic, so I basically was on an ambulance and a fire engine, and then I was promoted to lieutenant, so I was at Station 2 down south end across from Musco Lighting, and prior to that it was actually right across from the old Casey's on Oregon, a small little station, and then I was promoted to captain and went back uptown to Central Fire and rode Engine 1, and then as a battalion chief I'm the shift commander for the entire shift.
Cool. For someone wanting to get into the fire department field, what hours can they expect?
We work 24-hour shifts. So we came in at 07 this morning and we'll leave at 07 tomorrow morning.
So what are the steps into being a firefighter?
Well, for the city of Muscatine, EMT school and paramedic school are required. To get on our hiring list, you have to be a paramedic, and then you'll take a civil service test. And then after that, you'll go through an interview process, and then you'll get selected or you won't get selected. But more often than not, we're kind of going through a lot of personnel, and we're hiring more personnel. So it's pretty easy. But then if you're a firefighter already, if maybe you've been a firefighter with the volunteer organization around the surrounding community or somewhere else, you go through your firefighting school and firefighter 1 certification and such. But typically, yeah, to get on our department, you have to be a paramedic and then take the civil service exam.
Do you know how many people are on the field, like, at once?
When you say filled at once, what do you mean?
Like, say there's a fire, like, how many people are usually responding to that?
So it depends on our shift staffing and how severe the fire is. Typically, Muscatine, we send everybody on our shift that is on duty. And then we have Fruitland Fire Department that we have what's called a mutual aid agreement with. So we respond to any house fire that they have or structure fire in their community, and they automatically respond for us. So they bring us an apparatus plus 4 people. And so we could have anywhere from 12 to 16 people on a structure fire. And then we can always call in more personnel as needed. We do what's called alarm assignments. So if we get on scene and it's a very heavy working fire and there's a lot of issues and we have a lot of hot fire, then we will call in more people and backfill all of our stations and backfill and have them respond with us as well.
So what is the average amount of the fire call you respond in a month?
So we also run EMS calls, but our daily average is right around 14 calls a day for service. So that could be EMS calls related to somebody getting hurt or inter-facility transfers where we take sick patients from this hospital to another hospital, and car accidents and fire calls. So we average about 14 a day.
Are there any female firefighters in the department?
Yes, we have 2. One is Captain Julianne Gata, and the other one is Firefighter Rhonda Theobald.
Is the fire department armor heavy? Or is it...
All of our firefighting gear?
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually can weigh up to an extra 70 pounds with our air pack tool, lights, bunker gear, helmet. Yeah, it can be. We work out. Most everybody stays pretty physically fit. We have workout times during the day When they come in, they work out in the morning, or they can work out in the afternoon, and then we do our rig checkouts and different things like that.
So do you guys like sleep in the department, or do you guys sleep at your houses?
Yeah, no, we all stay at the two departments. So Central Fire, everybody stays there. We have a bunk room, and in the evening after 5 o'clock, if all of our daily work is done and everything, that becomes our rest period where we get dinner. People can start kind of relaxing, get some sleep in, because we will have calls
I have
throughout
a
the
question.
night.
Why is there so many knobs on the fire truck itself? Like, what are they all for exactly?
Well, all the knobs handle the different pump operations. So we have different water flow and different things like that. So we have to be able to control the different pressures.
Just in case if it's like immediate, like if it's huge.
Yep, we typically hook our hose lines into those different knobs and things that you see, and they control the pressures on those lines.
Is there a kitchen in the fire station?
There is,
Oh.
because we cook dinner there.
Oh, I see.
So, who usually like cooks for dinner?
It depends. On our shift we all rotate. So in the morning meeting we decide what we're going to have for dinner, and then somebody will usually chip in and cook, and it's usually somebody on our engine because our ambulance crews are pretty busy.
So talking about the fire truck again, so do you guys always like use the hose, or like do you guys use something else?
It depends on the severity of the fire. We do have fire extinguishers like pressurized water, so if it's a small fire we can take that in. And we know by the time we get on scene and we do the size up, we'll kind of know what kind of fire we have. So that'll decide what we decide to do, what kind of tactics we use.
In the last year, have you guys lost anyone on the force?
No, we haven't had any line of duty deaths.
Good.
Yep, the only line of duty death that the city of Muscatine had was a Mike Cruz, and that, I believe that was in 2001.
So that was basically a long time ago?
That was quite a long time ago.
Do you guys respond to any fires a little outside of Muscatine, or is it only in Muscatine?
So we have a mutual aid agreement with Fruitland Fire Department, so our engine 2 will automatically respond there, and we will respond when requested by other departments. Yep. We also run a regional hazmat team, so we respond to hazardous materials incidents, leaks and things like that in five different counties. We don't just fight fire, and we actually do.
Like electrical fires, or like
We'll fight electrical fires if we need to.
water and electricity do not mix.
Yep, so we turn the electricity off, and then we treat it like a normal fire.
Oh. But how? Because the whole place could actually be on fire and on the inside, and you wouldn't be able to go through because your feet would get burned, and you would have nothing but
Well, we've
stubs.
been doing pretty good so far.
Oh. What are walkie-talkies for?
To communicate with our dispatcher that gives us our 911 calls and tells us what's going on and where we need to be.
Why is the police officers your phone number and the police officers the same? Like, what if you call the wrong number?
That way you don't have to remember 2 numbers. You can call 911, you get an ambulance, a policeman, a sheriff's deputy, or a firefighter. All depends on what kind of emergency you have.
But I thought it could be 911. Yours could be 9111. So then you guys know the difference, like ambulance can have.
What's interesting is when the 911 call comes in, there's a group of people that sit in a little dispatch center, and they answer the call, and they decide who needs to go where, and they communicate that to us. So we don't actually answer the 911 calls when they come in.
Oh.
Cool. When you guys respond to fires, what is I know the masks protect, give you oxygen and all that, but does it?
It's a gas mask. It's called a gas mask.
So it's really what it does is the air that's in our tank is the same air that we're breathing in this room, basically. There's no extra oxygen or anything like that. It's literally just compressed air. So it's a whole bunch of air compressed down really tight, and then it allows us to breathe for about 45 minutes.
So, if you go in and you stay in there for about 45 minutes and you do not know your oxygen is running really low, you could die, right?
You could, but we have.
Timers?
Nope, not timers. It tells us our pressure on our tank. And it actually will alarm when we're down to about 700 pounds of pressure. It will start to vibrate, so we know that we don't have much, so we can head out of the building.
Okay.
When you guys respond to a fire, like how many fire trucks and ambulances like usually go?
On a normal day, when we have full staffing, we will send our aerial, 2 engines, and 2 ambulances.
When you do you guys know what your armor is made of, like your suit?
Yep, it's there's a lot of different materials out there, but we use a Nomex Kevlar blend. So the Nomex really has a high burn temperature, so we're able to go in and so it'll absorb a lot of heat before it actually ignites. And typically, it's pretty rare that it ignites.
You mean like dynamite?
Nope, not like dynamite. That would be really fast ignition. This would just be a slow burn.
Oh. You mean if you're like burning something?
Yeah.
Oh. I burned something once. I burned a couple things once actually. I burned my toys because I wanted to get rid of them, and I wanted to make room for more instead of selling it. Like, no one would want broken stuff, right? So why don't you just toss it in the fire?
That's probably not a good idea.
I know, plastic, smoke. We stayed away from that type of stuff.
You know, in the city of Muscatine, it's illegal to burn anything else in a fire pit besides normal wood and logs.
Now I know now. I did not know that.
Yep. And you have to have a burn permit when you do a little burn.
Okay. I'm just joking. I'd never burned anything in my life.
When you guys
joke.
respond to a call, like who answers the call?
It depends on what type. So an ambulance will go to our medical calls if it's a severe medical incident where we need extra personnel, like somebody having a heart attack. An engine will also respond. So we have extra paramedics on scene to help. So it really depends on the call type. A fire call, if it's a confirmed fire, engine, aerial, and ambulances will go. And then if it's just an investigation, maybe the fire engine will go. Car accident, an ambulance, and a fire engine go.
So when you guys like go to a fire scene, when you guys go in the like fire, like do you guys ever like see anything, like how many people's usually like in there, like around?
It really can depend. Most people, because a lot of people have smoke detectors and everything, most people will be able to get out fairly quickly. But we have had fires where victims have been trapped, and I mean, you know, usually it's 1 or 2, and we get to them pretty quick and get them out.
So fires are like murderers, right?
Well, the smoke is usually what gets you, the carbon monoxide. But sometimes you can be trapped if there's a fire.
Yeah, like if there's a fire behind the door, you cannot get out because there's fire behind the door.
So what do you do?
Call an ambulance, call a firefighter.
Yep, and then maybe go out your window.
How? You would fall and break a limb.
Well, it's either that or die in a fire.
Broken limb.
Fair enough, I agree.
When you guys like in the summertime, like say July 4th, do you guys like usually get a lot more calls than usual since there's kids being stupid and like playing with fireworks and all that?
Yeah, actually, no. We didn't have very many fireworks injuries this year at all. I actually, on the shifts, I worked 4th of July, and we didn't have any injuries due to fireworks.
One thing I didn't know, Nebraska, you know those bottle rockets?
Mm-hmm.
Those are illegal in Nebraska now.
Oh, wow.
People have actually been getting hurt with those types of things.
Wow.
We actually have some at home. We used them all.
Well, that's good.
And then we have those big, long, those jumbo sparklers.
Oh, cool. Those are fun.
Well, guys, I think we're running out of time here, so thank you to my guest.
Thank you.
And next week we will have another guest on, so see you guys next time.